Kenapa ya?
يسرى لكن خوخي ابو علام ودية يا فيليكس سانشيز، المدرب الاسباني فيليكس سانشيز. وكما تحدثنا في المباريات الماضية آخر خسارة بالنسبة له على المستوى الرسمي كانت أمام الأرجنتين، أمام نجوم التانجو هنالك في بطولة الكوبا أمريكا للمنتخب الأمريكي. لا تزال قائمة هنا من الخلف تحضر وتبنى بحثا هنا عن الإنهاء، بحثا عن الوصول للشباك العنابية التي نتمنى أن تبقى مستعصية. عنابية هنا الآن، الكرة ملعوبة لمصلحة المنتخب القطري، خطيرة وصلت إلى الهداف الله على كرة لو اكتملت، على تصويبة لو اكتملت، على كرة لو وصلت. يا المعز علي في المحاولة الماضية، كنت قريبا جدا من الوصول، إلى الشباك الأمريكية. لاحظ الكرة في الكرة الماضية جميلا، في الكرة الماضية جميلا، النهاية الماضية التي لم تكن، النهاية الماضية التي لم تكن بالنسبة للمعز بالتالي أيضا إلى خارجية الملعب، إلى خارجية تصل من الجهة اليمنى الآن، كرة تصل من الجهة اليمنى الأمريكي لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي اليسرى، لمصلحة الجهة اليسرى لمصلحة سيباستيان بلهاري. أكوستا للمنتخب الأمريكي، أكوستا للمنتخب الأمريكي من الجهة اليسرى، الكرة الملعوبة من الجهة المنتخب الأمريكي لا تزال مصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي لا تزال يعود بالكرة إلى الخلف، يعود بالكرة إلى الخلف من الجهة اليسرى، يأتي من الجهة اليسرى، لكن الراوي على الإبعاد الخارجي على الإبعاد الخارجي أرضية الملعب ليرويها بعد ذلك، يريد لعودته إلى العاصمة القطرية، عودته إلى العاصمة القطرية، إلى العاصمة القطرية، إلى العاصمة القطرية كما رواه إلى جانب بقية زملائه، إلى جانب الرواية الجميلة التي كتبت، الرواية الجميلة التي كتبت في عام 2009 من الجهة اليمنى هنا لا تزال مستمرة لأصحاب الدهر، لا تزال مستمرة لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي، لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي، وصلت إلى شبكة كيناكوس، ثم ملعوبة لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي، لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي من زمن شوط المباراة التاسعة من زمن شوط المباراة ولا تزال المباراة نهائي بطولة الكأس الذهبي، نهائي بطولة الكأس الذهبي الثاني لدينا المكسيك كندا بحوله تعالى، المكسيك كندا بحوله تعالى صباحا عبر قنوات بي ان سبورت، النصف النهائي الثاني من هذه البطولة، من الجهة من هذه البطولة، لكن لدينا هنا نقلة مرمى، لكن لدينا هنا نقلة مرمى في هذه اللحظات، لمصلحة العنابي في هذه اللحظات، ولدينا أيها الأحبة الخوف من القلق بالنسبة للأمريكيين، وتأتي هذه الكرة في أولى مخاوفهم تحدثوا عن الأمريكان وتحدثوا عن المنتخب الأمريكي يا المنتخب الأمريكي يا السيدة فيليكس سانشيز. هذا الهداف المعز، هذا الهداف المعز الذي أصبح هدافا للبطولة، الذي أصبح هدافا للبطولة، اللاعب الذي يتصدر قائمة الهدافين، الذي يتصدر قائمة الهدافين. لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي الآن، لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي الآن اللحظات، في هذه اللحظات طبعا بدعم الجماهير كبير هنا في ملعب الجماهير كبير في ملعب كيروتا ستاديوم، في ملعب كيروتا ستاديوم. هذه الملعب الذي يحتضن من الجهة اليسرى جانلوكا، من الجهة اليسرى جانلوكا لمصلحة اليسرى جانلوكا لمصلحة طويلة إلى الأمام، لمصلحة طويلة إلى الأمام، لمصلحة ماثيو الآن يحاول التقدم هنا موجودة، يحاول من قبل حكم المباراة، من قبل حكم المباراة خطأ لمصلحة ماثيو. لدينا هنا الجماهير الأمريكية، لدينا هنا الجماهير الأمريكية التي تبحث عن المباراة، في هذه المباراة رغبات جانب آخر. لدينا هنا من جانب الخنابي، لدينا هنا من جانب كبيرة جدا للوصول للنهاية إلى المباراة. الكريم حسن الآن يلعب الكرة من الجهة اليسرى، تصل الكرة من الجهة اليسرى، تصل يلعب الكرة الأمامية، تقدم هنا في الكرة الأمامية، التمرير هنا في المساحة، التمرير يأتي من الوسط، التمرير تأتي من مكان بعيد، تصويب تأتي من مكان بعيد، تصويب. الله 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 على الجدار، على الجدار، الجدار الكبير، الجدار الكبير، إلا أن التسلل، إلا أن الشباك القطرية، الشباك القطرية المحمية بالقفاز الذهبي، المحمية بالقفاز الذهبي الملعوبة. لاحظ مشعل برشم يا الله، مشعل برشم يا الله على الحراسة القطرية، على الحراسة القطرية الرائعة الذي مشعل برشم الذي تصدى من الكرة الماضية، إلا أنك تسلل في الموت، إلا أنك اللاعب الذي تغنت به الصحافة العالمية، تغنت به الحارس العالمية، الحارس الذي تغنت به الصحافة العالمية، تغنت به الصحافة العالمية. يساد بأن مشعل برشم وصل مشعل برشم وصل إلى 9 تصديات مباشرة، الأمر الذي جعل كل الصحافة العالمية، الذي جعل كل الصحافة العالمية برشم تسلط على الكبير في المباراة الماضية، على حساب الماضية عند حساب الشهداء العناب اللون هنالك، العناب اللون هنالك، وفي تلك المواجهة أمام منتخب السلفادور، أمام المنتخب السلفادور هنا المدرب الأمريكي بورهالتا البالغ من العمر 47 سنة، البالغ من العمر 47 سنة، في الأول من أغسطس بحوله تعالى، من أغسطس الأول من أغسطس الأول من أغسطس يدخل رجل، يدخل الثمانية والأربعين، يدخل العوض الثمانية والأربعين، العناب العناب أكرمك، لكنها لا تزال وصلت إلى حاتم، وصلت إلى حاتم، يتقدم إلى الجهة اليسرى، يتقدم إلى الجهة اليسرى إلى النبي إلى عبد الكريم من عبد الكريم إلى داخل هذا الكرة إلى الآخر هذا عبد الكريم لحظات كانت الكرة تسير هنا لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي، لمصلحة المنتخب الأمريكي. سيسجل أشعر بأن العنابي سيسجل من مرتبة معدلة مرتبة لتصل إلى الشباك الأمريكية، لتصل إلى الشباك الأمريكية. أشعر بذلك خلال اللحظات القادمة، خلال اللحظات القادمة يلعب الكرة من هذا المكان، يلعب برأسية، لكن البحث برأسية المرمى تصل لحارس المرمى. يا سادة هنا في هذه اللحظات، وإن كان هذا أمريكيا، وإن كان أمريكيا، ولربما التفوق نسبيا للمنتخب الأمريكي على مستوى المنتخب الأمريكي على مستوى ربما الانتشار هنا في بداية المباراة، الانتشار هنا في بداية الجهة اليسرى العرضية الجهة اليسرى إلى خارج أرضية لكنها إلى الخارج إلى أرضية الملعب، إلى خارج أرضية الملعب. العنابي لمصلحة العنابي 13 دقيقة من المتعة و13 دقيقة من الإثارة التي أعتقد ومن الإثارة التي كانت حاضرة منذ الدقيقة الأولى، كانت حاضرة منذ الدقيقة الأولى. كان هنالك من القدرة على التحكم، من القدرة على المباريات الماضية، في المباريات في مباراة كهذه المباراة، في مباراة فيها المنافس بالتعب الكبير، فيها المنافس بالتعب الكبير. مسألة التقدم ربما، مسألة التنوع ربما طبعا عن المباريات الماضية، طبعا عن المباريات الماضية. تعود الحضور الجماهيري في هذه المباراة، الحضور الجماهيري في هذه المباراة. متحكما هنا سيبقى المتحكما هنا سيبقى مؤثرا وسيبقى طبعا كبير على أرضية وعلى مدرجات أرضية ملعب المباراة، ملعب المباراة بالنسبة للجماهير الأمريكية، بالنسبة للجماهير الأمريكية والمساندة خلال التسجيل والمساندة في هذه البلد المستضيف أمام المنتخب الأمريكي، أمام المنتخب لكن سبق للعناب أن فعل ذلك، سبق للعناب أن فعل ذلك، أن كتب ذلك، صنع ذلك، كتب ذلك. ولدينا من الذكريات الشوط، ولدينا من الذكريات الشوط كأس آسيا 2019، كأس آسيا 2019. عبد الكريم حسن على إرسال هذه الكرة، على إرسال هذه النظرات من جانب المدرب الأمريكي، المدرب الأمريكي، المدرب الأمريكي الكبير، المدرب الأمريكي الكبير، المدرب الذي توج بالكأس الذهبية، الذي توج بالكأس الذهبية، واحد من أعظم المدربين، واحد من أعظم طبعا الذين أشرفوا على تدريب المنتخب، الذين أشرفوا على تدريب المنتخب الأمريكي تاريخه، عبر كل فاز بالبطولة بالكأس الذهبية، فاز بالبطولة بالكأس الذهبية إلى جانب 2017 مع المنتخب الأمريكي. مرة أخرى ملعوبة لمصلحة حسن الهيدوس، كرة ملعوبة لمصلحة وصلت إلى أكرم عفيف الآن، وصلت إلى أكرم عفيف الآن، يرسل الكرة من الجهة اليسرى تماما، الكرة من الجهة اليسرى تماما إلى همام إلى عبد الكريم، يتقدم همام إلى عبد الكريم، إلى همام عبد الكريم، جديد هنا من الجهة اليسرى، من جديد هنا من الجهة اليسرى، عنابية في هذه اللحظات إلى الأمام.
Oh, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good.
Matt Turner continues to stand tall for the U.S.
Available on all three buildups the last time the Qatari squad has moved forward. And this is what happens, Mike, when you go flat in the middle. It's very easy with all the numbers they have on the interior and then the wingbacks getting up high. Doesn't matter if it's Ahmed on the left, Miguel on the right. As they spread wide, it forces the outside backs for the United States to react, opens up more space in the middle for the midfielders to step into.
A wonderful save, it turns out, from Turner. Afif. Robinson. And struck on the first time into the stands. Devin, there's an irony to the fact that in Greg Berhalter's system, the expectation, and Zach Steffen was one of his goalkeepers in Columbus before taking the national team job, that it almost seems that your ability to possess the ball and adequately distribute is more important than shot stopping. It's left a lot of fans over the course of this tournament saying shot stopping does in fact matter, and Matt Turner certainly would call that the best part of his game. DK allows this to fall, and Hoppy continues to buzz behind Pedro Miguel.
A lot of people like to make the argument as well of where issues lie within this squad at the 9. People talk about the 9 goal scoring. Where does that come from? The quality, the depth, plenty of offensive options. But where does that pure striking ability come from? You move into the center back role. Who's the pairing next to what everybody believes is the number 1 for the United States in John Brooks? For me, I actually look all the way further than that. The regular appearances by Zach Steffen. Is Ethan Horvath the true savior that you saw in Nations League? Matt Turner stepping up, to your point, saves left and right for a country that for generations has made the argument on the global stage that they have some of the best goalkeepers in the world. Would actually make the argument right now, Mike, that's probably an area they're lacking in. At least in terms of what we've seen in previous years. They could always defend, always had quality goalkeeping. Struggling a little bit in both right now.
Doesn't appear that there's a defined number 1 at this stage, in part due to the injuries suffered by Steffen in the Nations League final. An American side that's always been able to count on names like Miola and Howard. Moore. Ariola grinds down under the challenge of Hassan. Set piece for the U.S. in the 25th minute. The U.S. has dominated possession. Qatar has created great chances otherwise. Busio away by Pedro Miguel. Off it back toward Al-Hedus. And a bobble by Sands.
Intercepted by Hassan, aggressive as ever, and held off now by Acosta over the objection of Hassan. Rolled on to Moore. The hero against Canada. And with that delicate touch at the end, Ahmed put it over the line.
Smartly done not to touch it by Shaq Moore as well. A great recovery defensively by Kellyn Acosta in the midfield. If you're
Let's call it a spirited conversation. Costa, no less than 3 Qatari players. Al-Rawi. Busio. Ball efforted toward goal. And slide in by Ariola. This is going to go all the way downfield. And Turner calmly away from Al-Haydous. Kept by Busio. Busio. Sands. Robinson. What we do know for sure is Miles Robinson will get to a very different Atlanta United when this tournament is over. His manager relieved of his duties over the past few weeks.
They're also getting a very different Miles Robinson back. The Miles Robinson you're seeing in front of you right now, that's 2019 Miles Robinson playing at an extremely high level. A guy who helped Atlanta United win 2 trophies, the U.S. Open Cup and the Campeones Cup. Whether it's a 3, whether it's a 4, distribution, his physical play, left side, right side, everything at an extremely high spotlight right now for Miles Robinson. And a good relationship with James Sands as well. Those two playing together. Great build. And they give you different looks, Mike. Can they be starters? It's probably a stretch from that right now. Although the question mark, as mentioned, is who is the money mate for Brooks? Come World Cup qualifying time. We're getting close. 35 days away for the United States.
Robinson's made a pretty spirited talking point for sure among the U.S. staff moving forward.
Also had this conversation that it's not as simple as this is the starter. Where are you playing? What does your domestic schedule look like? Where are you flying from? You can make that argument for positions all over the field of, do you want to bring speed on with 25 minutes to go? Are you looking for pace to start the game? Are you going to slow it down? In terms of matchup and load management, you're playing multiple games in a very small window. How do you handle it all? It's great to have depth back.
Hassan. Ball settled and smashed by Hatim. Into that same resting place, the bleachers, and Afif got tied up in the middle of the penalty area.
Just clipping right there. Kellyn Acosta, top of the 18. That trailing run by Hatim has been quite problematic for the United States here at the half-hour mark. Think about how many chances he's had. Speaking of Robinson, no one said he was going to be a goal scorer.
Anything in that for you?
No, there's not enough there. It's traffic and the angles. There's always an argument for sure, but the spirit of this game, you have to let the boys play a little bit, so I respect the non-decision.
Past the half-hour mark in this Gold Cup semifinal, Qatar and the United States to be followed by Mexico and Canada. The second game being played to the southeast of Austin in Houston, Texas. Ball rolled ahead for DK. And there is Barsham. There was tragic news earlier today. We'll get to in a moment. Not bad from DK.
No, good recovery, though, from El-Rawi. It's a mismatch in terms of size. Daryl DK will push his way through anybody. Get that out of the way. He's going to win those one-on-one battles, but it's those quick little steps in front off what you would call a semi-heavy touch. For Daryl DK, he's got to put it out in front of him because it's the touch, continue the stride, and then pick out which direction you want to go. He had those options. The problem was he didn't expect the late run coming from the far side by Bassam El-Rawi, who just plays the angled game, steps right in front of him, enough to disrupt the flow of DK up top.
Goal kick coming for Qatar. At Turner's spectacular performance thus far. That's
colorful. 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 Colorful.
That don't make their way to a senior squad have to find a way to make money. So just because you sell them off, you can be great at 16. How many child prodigies have we seen at any level in any country? You hit 18, you hit 20, 22, doesn't necessarily pan out. Got to make money. It's as simple as that. Barcelona, Real Madrid, all view themselves as a selling team. They'll laugh all the way to the bank because then they turn that money into the next child prodigy, into the next off-season transfer.
Rumors that Vines may be going for several $1 million to Belgium, that Gianluca Busio is on the verge of a transfer to Serie A. Even for the Canadians right now, Mark-Anthony Kaye, who may well start tonight, was traded by Bob Bradley at LAFC over the last 72 hours. Foul from Shaq Moore. Spent time in the Spanish second division. Called in by Dave Sarakin, who was the interim manager for the U.S. Largely off the radar after. Ball ahead 4 feet. Moore between the numbers. The thief shake of the head in disgust.
I don't mind a little nudge by Shaq Moore. Gets away with it, but it's that little shoulder right there. Not too much in it. There is contact. Yet still separation. A lot of these balls coming up over the top. Whether it's Robertson on the back shoulder of Vines or just now Sands and Moore. Defensively, too much space being made available with these direct balls coming up over the top.
Copy denied by Miguel. Boudieff. Abdulaziz Hatim. Akram Afif around Moore. Afif. Hatim whipped. And Almoez Ali was at the back post waiting. Vines caught up first. And a yellow card out as Lletget sent to ground by Boudieff.
It's a beautiful touch by Sebastian Lletget. Knows exactly where the pressure's coming from. Boudieff trying to get back in as they start to go in transition. He's got to take one for the team here. On the other side of the ball, Hatim has to be having nightmares in the dressing room at halftime with the amount of balls that have come his direction. Opportunities in and around the box. Has to do better.
There is value in creating chances, in theory. In fact, so many have gone wayward at this point for Qatar. It's an inauspicious start in some ways. They've yet to put the U.S. to the sword. 41st minute, Qatar a drastic advantage on efforts on target. Matt Turner has been brilliant, and Qatar not the sharpest knife in the drawer thus far. It's a U.S. side without all that much experience in games of this magnitude. Paul Arriola is starting his third straight Gold Cup semifinal. But beyond him, it's a thin list. Gold Cup experience. Leggett got knocked down again.
Already signing up for the massage room at halftime. Three just walk in, name on the clipboard immediately.
There's Busio. Greg Berhalter said Peter Vermees, his club coach at Kansas City, had told him how good he was. They didn't truly believe it. He got the chance to work with Busio more over the past month. Can he shine in this moment? Busio, DK, Barsham, narrowly before Hoppe.
This was a mismatch before the ball's even whipped in. Matched up against Abdelkarim Hassan, and then a good job by Daryl DK just pinching to the inside, losing the tracking runner on the right shoulder. Even though there's not enough momentum behind the ball, Mike, to go after Barsham. Probably the best opportunity from a dead ball situation the United States has seen outside of the ball redirected from Robertson right around the 30-minute mark.
Moore won it for the U.S. Arriola, Hassan. Moore throws in one of three players to play every minute. Or start every game of this Gold Cup for the U.S. Moore. Moore early over DK. Throw from Moore, who scored the fastest goal in the history of this competition. The 16th edition of the Gold Cup. Did it in 20 seconds against Canada. Moore away from DK. Now skying over Almoez Ali. Sands got a piece. Full 7:20 from Robinson, and the header down sees Barsham scatter over to collect. And a look to Hoppe as well. Hoppe's got a bit of spice to him, doesn't he?
I like him as an option for sure. One of the issues that you run into as you start to move forward here is the combination play. And it's not just the build through the middle. It's as you come quickly off the back line, it's a long ball over the top where you're playing into Arriola. You don't see a lot of the front three combining at all. It's separated incidents on either side of the field where within this matchup so far, there's a flick on. There's a ball into the channel and a cutback, and not exactly in the most impressive fashion when this team is at their best. Not that we've seen that so far throughout any of their performances over the past couple of months, but when we have seen the highest quality out of them, even for small moments, it is when 2 out of the 3, 3 out of the 3 can start to punch back a little bit up top there, especially with Kuki, who likes to pinch up in front, Mike. The matchup there, the space, DK has figured it out. He drops down and he understands where he can step into, but now can you play off of each other? That's where the next step in evolution for the United States going forward is going to have to come from within this game.
Foul, Boudieff. The best set piece thus far for the U.S. was their most recent one.
It's another good look at it, though, because DK had come to the inside and Hoppe had come over. About 7 yards off of each other. It confuses the back line of Qatar. As you start to bring a runner with you, that allows other opportunities where legit he can bridge the gap and step in behind. You can get an overlapping run. More importantly, if DK comes, Hoppe comes, Ariola's smart enough that he can get in behind their zone. He's got the speed to do so.
The 19-year-old Gianluca Busio. For Moore.
That's a ball.
Sands. And that may well take us to halftime. The U.S. has struggled to truly test Michel Barsham in this game. While the fans have provided a good soundtrack thus far, the U.S. Qatar 0. Halftime statistics between Qatar and the United States: 5 shots on target, 5 saves for Matt Turner thus far. The U.S. holds more of the possession, but they struggle to make the most of it. They only get 2 shots in the opening half in a pretty free-flowing game to this stage. 10 fouls, the only thing that's truly slowed it down thus far. Qatar 0, USA 0. Austin, Texas, the site for this CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinal. The United States taking on Qatar. James Sands in the U.S. had the majority of the possession, and this was one of their few self-inflicted wounds.
One of the more efficient players for Greg Berhalter on the field, uncharacteristically given away by James Sands trying to play out of the back. It's a dangerous ball. The diag 30 yards across the field when there are that many white jerseys that high. Not only is it the giveaway, Mike, it's the concern that the recovery isn't there on the outside. Unfortunate that Qatar can't hit the frame. To be honest, that's what you're going to hear from most of these highlights. A lot of opportunities from Hatim, some quality moving forward, but most of it, to be honest, they were half chances. They were hit with a hope and a dream. A couple of those almost ended up in the back of the net, though. From distance, little redirect, James Sands almost puts this into the back of his own net. If not for, guess who? Ever steady Matt Turner once again. Heck of a save by the goalkeeper to the bottom corner.
A 4-year starter for the New England Revolution in Major League Soccer finally gets his chance on the international stage. 5 saves in the opening half, and Al Haydous and Qatar struggling to break through, but they would continue to attack with venom. This is Akram Afif moving off the left-hand side, and well, why not? Hatim Wonderful finger tap save there from Turner.
Brilliant once again, but it's the slow reaction, not from the back line, it's actually from the midfield. They are slow to react, to come to the outside because of the fact that they don't have coverage. So you get the runners coming through the middle. 4 guys on the back trying to mark 5 and 6. The numbers don't add up. It's as simple as that, Mike, for the United States men's national team. Once again, Matt Turner, the savior, steps up.
Scoreless at halftime in Austin. Turner and the U.S. hold a 0 with Qatar knocking at their door. USA 0, Qatar 0.
best way to follow along with CONCACAF Gold Cup tournament is by downloading the official CONCACAF app. Stay up to date on goals, results, team stats, picture of the day, the game, and so much more. Download the official CONCACAF app today, available on iOS and Android. Walgreens is proud to be the official vaccination partner of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. This is our shot to get back to what matters most. Schedule now at walgreens.com/ourshot. Fans, be sure to visit amazon.com/CONCACAF to shop your favorite team here. Scotia. CONCACAF Gold Cup, because football inspires kids to transform communities. Follow Scotia Football Club on Facebook to look more powerful publishing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got one question for you. How can you not love Austin, Texas? Oh my goodness, it's incredible. Repeat after me. Dale. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to celebrate 60 years of CONCACAF. Right now, if you know this song, I want everybody to stand up at this party. 60-year celebration. This is semifinals. Are you ready? Let's go!
0-0 at halftime in the Gold Cup semifinal. CONCACAF's greatest stage, welcoming a newcomer, Qatar of AFC, the CONCACAF reigning champion from the Nations League, United States, struggling at this point to put together a totally coherent offensive attack at the brand new Q2 Stadium that opened just 6 weeks ago. Magnificent new venue in Austin, Texas. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr. Devin, if you're the U.S., how do you get this attack on track?
Baby steps, one at a time. It's as simple as that you have to build. You don't necessarily have to do it slowly. With 5 minutes to go in the half, Daryl Dike up top started to figure it out. The front three started to understand where the space was. Now, taking advantage of it is a whole nother story. The problem is they struggled with that recognition. And in the absence of that movement on the front three, you lacked vision, you lacked imagination, and they weren't able to grab any chances. The visitors capitalized on that. The fact that they barely had to absorb any pressure at all and were given the luxury to quickly go fed right in to what they've been great at all tournament long. Is that going to continue next half? You better hope not, because Qatar will break through.
Into the second half between Qatar and the United States in this Gold Cup semifinal. And a massive collision to start. Shaq Moore holding the low of his back. Hamam Ahmed clearly shaken up.
Both of them just colliding on that backside, and it's more importantly, it's the way that they come to ground here for Shaq Moore. Ahmed. It's going to leave a mark. There's got to be a better understanding for the United States to get back into this game from their attacking options up top. You can make the argument of Matt Turner being great in the first half. I'm not going to argue with you there. The issues on the back line, the lack of understanding from the outside backs at certain points in time when Qatar did go. The other side of that argument is there wasn't a lot of pressure relief offensively. So as a defender, Mike, when you sit and have to chase that much, you're bound to make a mistake.
Pedro Miguel. See, the U.S. is unchanged at halftime. Same can be said of Qatar. Sands away from Hatim. Moore. Locked into a corner. Almoez Ali closest to it. That's sent into the stands. for DK. Away by Kuki. DK, a tremendous run at Barnsley. Transfer never materialized for the upcoming season. Back to Orlando he went. That's a tough fall. The U.S. did go to Qatar in January of 2020 to stage a lengthy camp. In 2019, Greg Berhalter went and saw the Aspire Academy, the National Training Center in Doha. Basically called it a club-like atmosphere, because so many of these national team players come from the same drivable distance to go to that national training center. Oftentimes you'd get your regeneration done at the training center rather than with your own domestic club team. Some of these stars for Qatar. Sands probing. Moore kept it alive. Turns on Ahmed. Hassan.
A fantastical article put out by OnSoccer.com. Similarities between the two countries. How the lead into the 94 World Cup for the United States squad. Not having a lot of options as they were an automatic qualifier. Back then, at that point in time, the previous champion qualified as well. No longer the case. And how then manager Bora had that sort of residency for his players as well. Guess what? Advisor for Qatar now. Funny how the scenario comes full circle. All of these players that are pretty much based domestically within two squads. To have that luxury within your own backyard, come all the way around the world to compete in such a fantastic tournament. United States squad made an impressive run. Only lost to the eventual champions Brazil 1-0. I'll never forget it. Bebeto, back post goal. The combination that was Bebeto and Romario. Sight for sore eyes, those two up top in the yellow and blue.
Vines draws oohs and ahs from the crowd. Hoppy. Crossfield Moore. Ariola, Hoppy. The U.S. will certainly have to find those competitive games going into the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Not the qualifying structure. The octagonal this time around will be missing a pretty major name. Roro, as he's affectionately called, Pedro Miguel. Al-Rawi. Udiev. Al-Hedus. Return by Vines, who's come out confidently. He and DK can't connect.
That's the quality that's been lacking for Daryl DK throughout this tournament, where great technical ability by Sam Vines. Lovely little step in. Doesn't force the issue either. He understands that it's a little pirouette, touch to the inside, explosion of speed, but he doesn't have to go full throttle. It's the next touch by Daryl DK. Play into his feet, that's fine. Play off of him, go the aerial route. All of that is available to him right now. But the finesse, that aspect, is an area that has been a bit of a concern throughout the Gold Cup.
Hassan played a dangerous game, and Udiev returns. Hassan. Ali began to chase. He's the top scorer at this Gold Cup. 4 goals, 3 in the second half of games. Majority of scoring in this tournament has come in the second half. Not by a small margin either. 69 goals. Gold Cup semifinals. 39 of those came in the second half. Ball ahead for DK. DK! Save Barsham. Kept by Hoppy Leggett. Acosta. Hoppy steered away from goal. Good recovery by Kuki.
Here comes the confidence from Matthew Hoppy, who has had a great start here to the second half. What a ball. Fantastically played into DK up top. And notice, it's nothing of the spectacular in terms of the actual ability to put it in. This is actually quite simplistic in nature. Little touch out in front, sees the space, and understanding that that back three has been spread thin, stick it out in front, let DK run onto it.
Busio has been tasked with all the set pieces thus far. Busio away with Robinson in pursuit. And here's the transitional nature of Qatar. Al-Hedus sprinting forward, Afif. Afif! No penalty. Play on.
Easy. Might have got away with one there.
And the crowd continues to roar. Afif remains down. Ariola's gone into the book.
That's for the retaliation. We get it. It's a foul. And then right here, little pull. Watch the leg. Penalty. Cut back. Sands. Flat-footed. Reach across. 100%. It's not even close.
VAR is available, and this is one of the match-changing situations in which it can be used.
Not even a question. It's all contact here. James Sands gets crossed up. Oversteps to that right shoulder of his too much and tries to use those long legs to connect back across.
Afif remains down. The athletic trainer approaches.
One more time for you. Step over, back, left leg, left knee. Left it for question for VAR. Just a massive amount of contact. It's perfect positioning by the referee. You wonder on the decision-making process as to what the actual thought is here that's in question.
And further, you wonder if the referee, as has been the case with ARs in this tournament,
Let it go, come back around.
would much rather not stymie a play that results in a goal anyways. As you see through the northwestern gate of Q2 Stadium. What a wonderful venue it's been produced here in Austin.
Not a bad seat anywhere, is there?
Meanwhile, Austin was a reincarnated Columbus Crew of sorts, the ownership group. Referee will go to VAR to check for a potential penalty. And the crowd doesn't appreciate this. But Juan Gabriel Calderon of Costa Rica will now go to work with Bakary Gassama of Gambia. The VAR. What you'll see on your screen now is precisely what the referee and the VAR are looking at.
Pretty easy to see the contact there. There's not too much of an argument here to be had for James Sands. Just reacts late. The footwork quick. Understands that the touch back to the inside, to be honest, Mike, isn't the best move for Afif here because of the trailing run by Acosta.
Well, it goes without saying, this is, as it's being viewed anywhere between 0 and 25% speed, a massive decision for the referee, and arguably the biggest use of VAR in CONCACAF since it first came into play in Champions League earlier this year. CONCACAF has tried to take their time, and truly follow through on the concept of clear and obvious error as their guiding principle. Juan Gabriel Calderon will announce his decision right in front of Sands, who may be the guilty party. Penalty.
Not too much of an argument being put up by the United States squad either. Matt Turner, can he be the savior? Almoez Ali, the 55th minute versus El Salvador, gave them the 3-0 lead. Do you go back to him? That ended up being the game-winning goal. It looks like no, that they will go with Al Haydous, their captain. Bit of gamesmanship now. It's been a long time since that initial foul that was called on the other end of the field. That ended up in a couple of yells being thrown out. Ariola was one of them in the 54th minute. Remember, the challenge on Afif was about 20 seconds prior, so you're looking at 5+ minutes where Matt Turner has just been waiting for the referee to make a decision. That comes in the form of VAR, points to the spot. Didn't take that long, as it was not that hard to see where the contact came from. James Sands expected, to be honest, if I was in his position, Mike, the exact same move to his right shoulder. Instead, it's the cut back across. And now, the man who was taken down, Afif, tangling with Acosta.
And that disagreement continues to spill over. All the while, Al Haydous is waiting. Matt Turner has been magnificent. He's been beaten once in this tournament. It was a penalty against Martinique. Al Haydous has taken 3 penalties this calendar year. He's made all 3. Imam Ahmed has been shown a yellow card, it appeared. Perhaps he was simply brandishing it to make a point. Al Haydous chipped it over the crossbar. A stunning turn for the Qatari captain. Perfection from the spot this year, and he overcooked it.
Just a poor penalty. The stutter, eyes up the entire way. Quick little look down at the end. Right back up. Skies it. Too much force. Leans back too much. You could pick one. You could pick the other. Both ends up as a recipe for disaster.
He has converted 9 penalties for Qatar, but he comes up short this time around. We remain scoreless into the 62nd minute. This is the semifinal, as was the case in the quarterfinals. Extra time and penalties loom. It was unnecessary in the 4 final 8 games. Now in the last 4, could Qatar and the U.S. need to go the distance? Leggett crossing dangerously with Busio and DK on the opposite side of the penalty area. Crowd roars again. This is Moore and Afif. Shaq Moore into the book. changes looming for the U.S. It'll be a trio. Cannon will replace the freshly carded Moore. Christian Roldan, who assisted the game winner against Jamaica, to Hoppy, check in as well. Busio comes off. And Zardes, one would imagine, will replace DK. Indeed, that sub pattern continues. First window used by Greg Berhalter. First 3 substitutes in this game. Sands leaves this in the path of Almoez Ali. Hatim. Advantage was played. Ned's gotten back to his feet.
The chances haven't come aplenty for Qatar here in the second half. Nothing compared to what we saw in the first for Sanchez's squad. But for the substitutes, Mike, in an emotional game over the past couple of minutes, how quickly, if you're in United States jersey, can you assimilate yourself into this environment? Changes on all 3 levels. Zardes, Roldan, and Reggie Cannon. You have to hit the ground running here, and I'll tell you, there was a window 49 to about the 54th minute where the United States started to pick up a bit of momentum moving forward. That has fastly faded. The penalty miss is one thing, but momentum is a whole nother, and just because it goes up over the top doesn't mean this Qatar squad is about to back off.
th Gold Cup for the U.S. 16th Gold Cup, period. Runners-up to Mexico in 2019. Tournament that for the first time existed in 3 separate countries. Costa Rica, Jamaica, and the U.S. Zardes recovered here. Almoez Ali. Afif. Dragged down. Sands carries forward. Rolls by Barsham. He takes over now. The U.S. are 6-time champions, trailing only Mexico. We've won 8. Canada, a champion as well in 2000. Will take on Mexico in the second semifinal later tonight. Hoppy playing in the Bundesliga. Shaka. Vines. Pedro Miguel, who left.
It's a different animal, the international stage is. Andrew Hoppy, someone who, much like Daryl Dike, experienced quality run of form within the domestic calendar. The boys on the other side of the field don't care. Club and country, 2 very different arguments right now.
Leggett bobbled, flicked back toward the goal mouth, away from Zardes. Roldan keeps it alive, steered across. Robinson can't get a touch. Falls for Areola, and now the whistle blows. Barsham got a piece and then was stuck in no man's land.
He made the argument here that he got hit in the net, but this is a great ball whipped all the way back into the back post. That was Hoppy, little touch, and as this floats back through, I don't see where the foul is. Another look at the pen. Not even a question. And the actual one taken, question marks all over the place. Al Jesus, I'd like to forget that one, as would his manager.
Felix Sanchez spoke about how difficult it would be playing against the perceived favorite in this tournament by his estimation. Perhaps he was giving the host country a bit more respect than many who believe Mexico is the odds-on favorite.
was about to say, I'm sure El Tree will have something to say about that in the press.
Stoppage here as they attend to Barsham, which started just 4 games ahead of this tournament for Qatar. Although 2 of them were against CONCACAF opposition. Felix Sanchez offering him the shirt over more experienced players behind him. A regular for Al Sadd, a side that's won Champions League in Asia. And there are a multitude of frayed nerves at this point.
Hasn't really been tested, has he? A couple little deflections, balls work back through. Remember the chance in the first half, spilled out in front, Ariola in an offside position. The ball floated to the back post right now.
Ahead now, Cannon crossing for Zardes. Into the bleachers.
There's some energy now from the host nation that's really starting to take shape, and the movement's coming forward. And just coming off the comments on the goalkeeper, love the build that is starting to come from the United States at the same point in time. Test this goalkeeper. Barsham lost in La La Land just a little bit. Don't be afraid to have a crack from distance.
Lugette rolled on.
This was the foul called just before. It's the right arm that touches his arm-ish.
Play had been allowed to continue for a few seconds longer. Juan Gabriel Calderon of Costa Rica did blow the whistle. Sebastian Lletget, second time captaining the side. Cannon.
Beautiful ball.
Rolled on. Vines pinching in. Lletget. Cannon. Rolled on. Ariola. Cannon. Lletget. Lletget waits. Ushered through Ariola. Appeal for a penalty. Play on. And Kuki drives it away as far as Roldan. Throw for the U.S. Referee stopping play for a moment.
It's much better from the United States. Once again, Ariola, and the fans didn't like it on the no call, but not even the player. Lobbying for a foul here.
Acosta for Zardes. Hassan dropped to Roldan. Cannon.
Notice the thought process, Mike. It's nothing groundbreaking. Just speeding up the level of play. Everybody, instead of reacting to the space in front of you, you're being proactive. You're starting to see multiple runs off the ball. So it's the second, third, and fourth option down the line already in movement. That sequence causing other opportunities for the United States. Overlapping runs, the tucks underneath. Roldan starting to find a little form. Cannon, Roldan, Ariola, Lletget all starting to combine. Didn't see any of that in the opening 60 minutes of this game.
End of the night for Hassan Al-Haidous. His smile usually lights up the room. Hugs from his teammates. He missed a penalty just past the hour mark that would have put Qatar ahead. He chipped down the middle and instead watched it sail over the crossbar. And he won't be entirely satisfied unless his side somehow moves on to the final. On comes Abdullah Al-Arak. He's been a regular off the bench for Qatar in this tournament. This has in some ways felt like a barnstorming tour for Qatar. Fans in every venue, jugglers outside wearing Qatari kits, and they put their football on display first and foremost. The 2022 World Cup hosts given a good account of themselves, but can they reach the final? Ball flicks onto the wrong side of Zardes. Chance to counter. And a trio, a convoy of American defenders caught up to Almoez Ali, who's the leading scorer in this tournament and was the leading scorer as Qatar won the Asian Cup in 2019. Cannon. Areola against Ahmed. Hassan steps in, rolled through Leggett. Dancing a la rock. Cannon, Acosta, Vines.
The hesitation there from Sam Vines that might cost the United States. He doesn't get back quick enough.
Boudieff received from Hatim, who's taken over the captain's armband for Qatar with Al-Haydous off. Afif rolling toward the end line. Off target left of the post. Imam Ahmed.
One too many touches on the other side of the field for Sebastian Leggett. Last 5 minutes. Much better enthusiasm from the midfielder playing off of each other. Really like what Roldan has brought to the game. And for Sam Vines, start to step through this when it comes your way.
Ball across Areola. Perhaps there is extra time in mind. It's just been needed 8 times in the Gold Cup. The U.S. needed extra time against Honduras. Rather against Mexico in the Nations League final. They won it late against Honduras in the 88th minute through Jordan Sabatu to advance. Just how late will it be left here? Hatim. Crowd approves. It's beyond Afif. You have to say this, Devin. Fans who showed up for this Gold Cup semifinal have been really treated at this point. While Al-Haydous certainly plays the role of GOAT at present, it's been a winding affair between these two. 0-0 doesn't seem to do it justice.
Al-Haydous would gladly pick up the entire check for the rest of his squad if they could clean up the mess. That's about 15 minutes ago. A poor penalty taken by their captain. Didn't have the legs then, didn't have the legs to finish it off.
Vines, good seeking ball, chested back through the penalty area, bypasses Leggett. On a rock now.
It's the direction that's so much better here. Those long balls, instead of playing into one singular option that we saw in the first half of the United States, Mike, now you're starting to see all the rotation off of it. So if you do go long up over the top to Areola, his touch isn't down into his feet. It's out in front of him. It's away from the shoulder. It's providing yourself options. More importantly, the fact that those options are already there. You're not bringing this down and going, okay, where am I going next? They're bringing it down and going, where can I go? Because they have so many options. And if the first one's not there or he doesn't pick it, it's the second and the third. We give a lot of praise to the front line of Qatar, rightfully so. Afif, your tournament leading scorer, and Ali. The midfield three are truly would have given them all the opportunities in the first half that are really starting to fade here in the second. Roldan, Leggett, Helen Acosta sitting much more defensive-minded, just holding as the shape has changed. They're not as flat defensively. They're providing themselves much more depth so they can build through the levels and play off of each other on that front three as well.
Akram Afif off. Mohamed Muntari checks on with 13 minutes and stoppage time remaining. Second window, second sub used by Qatar.
Austin, Texas, you showed up for the total attendance sports event match. 40,500. I want to say thank you to all of them.
Vines, brilliant. Zardes, Hoppy, plays this in front. It's behind Zardes on the deflection. Pedro Miguel, Ali. Zardes trying to win it back. Hatim. The advantage had broken down. Quickly put in play by Qatar. Two sides that are truly in form. The U.S. one loss in their last 17. Qatar 12 unbeaten. Majority have been victories. Spoken about the motivation, semifinal of a major tournament. Thus far, they've proven to be a bit unruly house guests. They've not gone quietly into the night, and a penalty they won just past the hour mark. And skied over the crossbar could have been the difference to this point. Nicholas Gioacchini is preparing to come in for the U.S. in moments. Six title-winning runs for the U.S., only twice they've gone unbeaten, undrawn, 2007 and 2013. They can win here tonight and have a chance to do it again in 2021. 3 1-0 wins. The opener against Haiti, the group stage finale against Canada, and then again against Jamaica in the quarterfinal, where Matthew Hoppy scored in the 83rd minute.
Just limping on the touchline here as he's trying to pick up some steam with 10 minutes to go. I would imagine, based upon the quality we've seen out of Arriola the past couple of minutes, that would be the change coming.
Lletget, Robinson. Lletget has provided plenty of energy for the U.S. as this game is worn on. This game being played in 90-degree heat in Austin, Texas, the Gold Cup semifinal. Canada and Mexico will play in the Dome in Houston, NRG Stadium later tonight. Hassan slides in on Roldan, who's clearly worse for the wear.
Berhalter not happy, wants a card on it as well. Real time looked like this is a pretty good tackle by Hassan on the far side. In fact, it is. Does catch the ball up over the top of it. Long legs for the left back of Hassan. He's done well for himself. He's had a lot to do here over the past 15 to 20 minutes.
Hoppy has been laboring. Arriola will come off as well. Attack-minded changes for the U.S. in the final 10 minutes. Eric Williamson will get his 3rd international cap. Nicholas Gioacchini, his 7th. I'm not sure number 7 knows his night is over. Gioacchini's been a regular. Is Williamson a surprise in a game of this magnitude?
Wouldn't say that he's a surprise. Would more say that it'll be interesting to see where they're going to decide to tweak the shape on the setup here for the United States as they start to move forward. It's simple to think that Gioacchini just steps into where Arriola was. That is the easy change, but Williamson can pinch over there as well. More importantly, he's so comfortable at tucking underneath to provide that second and third option in front of Roldan and Lletget. So you can almost pinch him in front into a diamond shape at times. You can flatten out the 3 where Kellyn Acosta sits as the lone holding midfielder, and then you create a wall with 2 options in front. And that third becomes one of the midfielders peeling off to go after this back 3. The rotation from those options is what could be a major cause for concern for Qatar.
Away from Montari. Qatar does possess through Ahmed. Ali. Pookie the diagonal. Ahmed structured through Al-Arak. Hassan. A much needed spell of possession here for Qatar.
This is really the first time you've seen them dance on the ball at all for the past 20, 25 minutes, Mike. They've struggled a lot chasing, using a lot of the fuel left in the tank. Is there anything there to help out down the stretch?
Al-Arak taken by Williamson. Qatar has already started speaking a bit about the World Cup. Felix Sanchez said it's difficult to predict just how far they could go. In the past, he said small nations have had a run at it, and surprised, big nations have been out in the group. Qatar looking to be the prior, not the latter. Ball for Zardes. Allows this to run through. There is contact, but the referee in no hurry to see the penalty at this juncture.
This is an understanding for Zardes that as he comes back through here, he knows there's going to be contact. How high is it? Does that shoulder come that far up that the defender gets himself into trouble? The answer is no. Just a graze for that man. Matthew Hoppe, built into the game. Isn't exactly his best performance, though. As the match went on, would argue at the start of the second half was one of the better players for the United States. Unfortunately, that didn't take shape as the second half started to drag itself out. Form got better for the United States. Legs started to go for Hoppe.
It's been a different hero every night for the U.S. Finds Moore, Hoppe. Who will it be tonight? Gioacchini. If there's a hero amongst this group at all, Lletget over Roldan.
Everybody on the same page there except Sebastian Lletget. Greg Berhalter asking for the same thing that Gioacchini was. Great hold-up play down in the corner. And as Lletget comes, they start to play off of each other. There was an understanding that the ball was going to come square across the top of the 18. Provide yourself two options there. 3, if you really want to have some fun with it. Strike from 25 yards out, come back from the way it came. More importantly, continue the movement across the field.
Oh, wonderful dummy. Into the penalty area, contact from behind. Again, the referee's silent. Gioacchini wants the return. Gioacchini turns. Gioacchini. Zardes! Gyasi Zardes moves the U.S. one step closer to another continental final with one of the biggest goals of his career.
Great bit of pressure here from the United States. Zardes provides the first push off the outside back position. And then the quality, where was that going to come from? Super sub? Absolutely not. This is not a black hole of offense. The singular entity did not exist. Beautiful build-up from all three of the boys coming off of the bench for the United States. Gioacchini recognizes the fact that the trailing run is going to be there. Penalty, VAR, leave no doubt. Second in the tournament for Zardes.
And these Qatari faces tell quite a story. Hatim off. Ahmed Al-Aldin in. Final change for Qatar. Zardes coming off an MLS Cup winning season with the Columbus Crew, Greg Berhalter's former side. But never say never about this Qatari group.
That's a foul.
Vines perturbed on the ground. Pedro Miguel seeking explanation.
Studs up the entire way. It's not even a question. What a build here. Zardes on the pressure. Zardes on the tiny little touch that allows Gioacchini to come through. And then what a ball. By the way, there's 3 out of 4 in the build-up. Eric Williamson there in support if you want it. Little reminder, you missed that one. Don't worry about it. We'll clean up the mess.
And the trophy that the U.S. is chasing, hoisted proudly in the stands, albeit one of less theoretical value. Rolled ahead by Lletget. Could there be a second for the U.S.? Gioacchini. Al-Rawi remains down.
He does catch this right across the face, and for Al-Rawi, there's no malintent here on the little pop-up for Gioacchini. It's just the follow-through. Your momentum can only get out of the way so much. Easy to play Monday morning quarterback and look back on the changes made by Greg Berhalter. Necessary? 100%. They needed to happen. Lackluster in terms of the offensive options moving forward in the opening 45 minutes. Could you build more through the middle? Was there enough pace up top in the transitional moments? The answer was no. Simple as that. All of that changed right around the 65th minute mark. You started to introduce players like Roldan. You bring on Gioacchini, of course, Williamson and Zardes, all of which have had such a dramatic impact on this game with 20 minutes to go. Frankie Hejduk, eat your heart out. United States men's national team legend, loving every second of it.
9 added minutes. And the first minute of that will be spent entirely with Bassam Al-Rawi down. Spare a thought for Hassan Al-Haidous. 145 appearances for Qatar. 23 years, including his time in the academy for Al Sadd. Few players better personify Qatari football than that man. And the penalty gone wrong may be the one that sees Qatar out of the Gold Cup. There is still time, however. This is deflected en route. Does belong to Qatar. Al-Rawi is begging to be allowed back into the game. And now he is in. Al-Rawi returns after the injury. We may well get to 100 minutes. Brought down by Al-Aldin. Taken on by Williamson. Quickly collected by Al-Arak. Al-Arak. Ala Eldin.
They have truly struggled here in the midfield in the second half, especially with the departure of their captain, Hassan Al-Haidous, and the missed penalty. The second that he stepped off, Hatim moves to the right side. Abdul Al-Arak came in, goes to the left front motion of Boudieff. Well, they both switched back and forth, and the quality that you saw on the build from the middle three in the first half has subsided. The options for the front two pushed by the wayside. The magical movements we've seen from Qatar the entire tournament shut down time and time again here in the second half. Wasted opportunities in the first have come back to haunt them inside 5 minutes to play to find an equalizer.
Joe Akini whacked by Al-Rawi. He's going to play the rest of this game with cotton in his mouth. They're suffering a knock, apparently to the lip. Joe Akini down again. Free kick, United States. Foul, Jossie Zardes.